Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to The Shift, right here on Tumaini TV, where we bring hope to the nations. Well, since it's the month of June, it's the month of men's mental health awareness. And why not talk about the same? In studio, we have Mary Mbogwa, who is a psychologist. She is a registered professional counselor, an addiction counselor, a therapist, and the founder of Miale ya Tumaini Counseling Services. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Vivian.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
June inakupeleka aje?
June baridi tu kiasi. But we are prepared for it.
Okay.
But all the same, every other thing is good. And I feel that it is a month that I'm ready to face.
Okay,
Yes.
That's the spirit.
Yes.
Before we begin to discuss about the topic, kuna kagame nataka tucheze. Are you ready?
I am.
Inaitwa finishing the sentence. Okay. You finish the sentence, ninaanzisha sentence na unamalizia. Okay, mental health is?
It's the wellness of the mind.
Okay.
The wellness of the mind.
Okay.
Yes.
Hope mmesikia hiyo. One thing I wish more men knew is?
About the importance of mental health.
Okay. When I'm stressed,
You usually get into mental illness.
Okay.
Yes.
Umefanya vizuri.
Thank you.
Umepita hii game.
Yes.
Okay. When we talk about men's mental health, why is it important to discuss about it?
Thank you, Vivian. It's timely. I want to thank you people, Tumaini TV, for having this opportunity to focus on men. Because men have been left out in so many areas. And out there we are able to observe, because we don't need the rocket science to see whatever is happening with our men outside there.
Yeah.
And whatever is happening, the idleness, they are the ones you find all the way from wherever, in centers, by the roadsides. You just find them there, idling. And therefore, what gets into our mind is that what is behind all this? And as a counselor, psychologist, I am able to tell that there is a mental illness behind that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say, when we are growing up, men are told not to cry.
Yes.
Don't show your emotions like the women. Ukionyesha your emotions, unaambiwa uko na umama. I think that's the reason why men, they are not for the idea of therapy.
Yes.
Do you think that the societal expectations of men has influenced the men's mental health illness?
True, Vivian. Our background is what makes us. We are our past sometimes haunt us. Our environment make us. So in our society, especially I think the African society, there is this aspect of men growing, being given the attitude and perception that they are strong people.
Yes.
They need to practice resilience. They are there to handle difficult issues without showing emotions. So they grow up like it's men minus emotions.
Yes.
And no human beings can be a human being without emotions. And therefore the society, the cultures, the expectations from all quarters is that men are hardy, they should be resilient, and they should be able to handle every situation, which is not true, because they are just human beings.
Yeah,
they have their ability, they have their potential. They are also vulnerable.
Yeah.
They can be overwhelmed. And maybe on that note, if we can even go to the Bible, because this is where sometimes we also need to look at, because that is where creation began.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this aspect of God creating man, and at one point God looks at man and he says it's not good for
For a
this
man.
man to be alone.
Yeah.
Why? Because there are some aspects that God observed in this man, and he realized that he cannot be a jack of all trades, yeah, the master of none. So God himself, who is the creator, felt that there was need for this man to have somebody support, because God observed that, okay, there are perceptions and other areas that, ideas that people may think that it is about loneliness. Actually, he was not lonely. There were giraffes, there were animals. Yeah, and you know, we pay, these days we pay money to go and observe them, wherever they are in the game parks and whatever. So the point is, God himself saw in man that yes, he was created, but God saw there is a deficiency.
Yeah.
So it is this culture, this aspect of society that we have put on a man has really made men to get into mental illnesses. Yeah, yeah.
And also, you know, as Christians, I don't know why there's a notion that therapy is for women only. There is no therapy for men. And you see people fall into illnesses because of the expectations even the church has placed on the men. But how do we know that someone is facing mental illness, is actually going through something? How do these, especially in men, how do these symptoms show?
Yeah, we have symptoms, and some of them are from research, others are from observable things. Like I've said, those of us who come from this area of Nakuru, for example, if I tell you to walk from Kunste maybe to Heshima and try to find out who are idle, who are these people who are sitting by the roadside doing nothing. Yeah? Who are these people you find in centers, just idling, just being there? Who are these? Mostly men.
Yeah.
And that is one area that tells us that it is not well. Because a normal human being should not wake up in the morning, just loiter, sit somewhere throughout the day. What will you eat? That means this is a person without focus. This is a person without passion. This is a person with no interest. And when these things are not there in a human being, then it reflects that something is amiss, and mostly the mental health. Secondly, we can observe the increase in suicidal cases. Yeah. Researchers tell us that when it comes to suicide, women contemplate
before they commit suicide.
The number of women who contemplate to commit suicide is higher than men. But men are the ones who do the
Actually
suicide.
do the act.
They do the act. They commit suicide. You know, when now we look at the number of men versus women, those who commit suicide, it tells us that these are people who are going through mental illness. Mental illness in this case, they could be going through depression. Others are going through stress, acute stress. And others are going through anxieties. And sometimes this anxiety becomes a disorder. Others are going through something we call PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorders, because maybe of the trauma they went through when they were young. And you see, even men are they are exposed to situations that are sometimes very dangerous. Maybe they are working in the quarries. Most of them are drivers. The others are policemen. They are employed there. And
KDFs.
as they enter KDFs, when they interact with those difficult, they experience these difficult moments and situations. Most of them go through trauma. And when trauma is not attended in therapy and other areas like in counseling, yes, then it can result, people may think that the person has healed, anaweza ameweza, but the end result is experiencing the PTSD, which becomes a disorder. The other thing is, there was a report I was looking at, and they were saying, that was 2022, and they were saying that the issues of mental illness in Kenya, this was in Kenya, and they were saying that the statistics showed that 43.9% of women are the ones who were suffering from mental illness, against 53.1% of men. So it can tell you that men are more vulnerable. Yeah, they are mostly not able to deal with the issues as women. Why? Because of the society. What is placed in the society. How do we view them? How do you view your father? How do I view my husband? Nikiona bwana wangu akilia, what will be the interpretation?
He's weak.
He's weak. So that one gives them the fear, because their expectations. Yeah.
You have talked about stress and depression.
Yes.
I want you to tell the viewers, what is the difference? What is the difference between the two?
Yeah.
Stress and depression. What is the difference between the two?
Now, stress, sometimes when we look at it broadly, it is the weight, the weight that one carries, mental, that you are not able to carry. There is the load placed on you, and you don't have the ability to carry. So at one point, stress is normal. We say that if you are free from stress, then you are likely like you are not existing. Because at one point we say that normal stress is okay, because it helps you maybe to move on and even to do some things. When you are stressed, you are likely to find. But when it comes to acute stress, this is where that you find that kuna uzito. There are things that are upon you and you are not able to handle them. So you get stressed. And of course, these are stressors. They could be as a result of family, and family work, relationships.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, the human nature, we are supposed, like in counseling, we just tell people it's about dealing with an issue in a kuondokea. But when you keep on piling, remember, it is like, if we can demonstrate, this is my hand. If we can put so many things here, my hand will get to a point where it cannot hold whatever is there. What will happen? Itaanza kushake, finally itaanguka.
Yeah.
That is how stress affects us. That the stressors or the load that are placed on us, we are not able to handle them. So that is stress. When stress is not worked on, when we are not able to manage, because we talk of management, because we cannot do away with the stress. We only learn skills to manage. When it gets to an extent where now it is acute, one results into depression. Depression is that state of depression huwa anaielezea. It's like you go down. You just go down, and the symptoms are like you will get low, there's nothing that you want, there's nothing that you appreciate. Even the things that you used to like, you no longer like them. The activities, you become moodless. And there are two types of depression. There is the bipolar one, and then there is the mania, whereby sometimes you find people who are in depression, wakati mwingine they are very happy, euphoric, they're hyper. At that times they are low, you may not understand. So, in short, acute stress, when it is not managed, resorts into depression. And that's why as counselors, we always say it is good to manage stress before it gets to depression.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Hope you have learned something.
Yes.
Up to that point, our viewers, hope you are noting down, especially men.
Yeah.
Hope you are noting down. We want to go for a short commercial break, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We are back, and we were talking about men's mental health. And we have heard there is a difference between stress and depression. There is acute stress, and when it's not managed, it turns to depression. So let's assume there is a man who has had all of this, but he doesn't know how to ask for help.
Yeah.
How do you start that journey of asking for help? You have learned that you are going through depression or maybe stress, and you don't know how to manage it. How can I ask for help, or how can I get help? Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Vivian. The first thing that you do is what we are doing now. Getting the awareness.
Okay, yeah.
Getting the awareness that men are going through mental illness, but we cannot just sit back and say that is the normal. It is normal for men to be the way they are, because these are the men we need in the society. They have the responsibilities. Remember that they are the heads of the family. They have the authority. So they need to be there, and not just being there, they need the energy that they require to accomplish their responsibilities. So I would urge men, wherever they are, that now that you have gotten the awareness, it is important to seek help. Help, we are there. Mary Mbogwa is there, and other counselors in Nakuru. Maybe there are other counselors wherever you are, even in Kenya. I know there are people who are watching us outside Nakuru.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are there. Look for a psychological counselor. Yeah, sometimes we refer people to pastors, but it is not always that we need the spiritual aspect, because at times we need to understand the source of our problems, and maybe they are not as a result of the spirituality. It is about the trauma we went through when we were young. Yeah, it is good to have prayers. It is good to have the word of God. Actually, it is important. But over and above that, it is important to seek help. Men should also learn ways and strategies to release those emotions. Because when you don't release them, a man might nurse, I have said that before, a man might nurse emotions, then you cease to be a human being. And the purpose of emotions is just to help us maybe to survive. When I'm happy, I laugh. When I'm not happy, I'm angry, there are things that I do. The only thing is, I should know how to appropriately express my feelings. So it is good. Sometimes back, and I think even today, people do not expect men to cry. In this forum, we are telling them to cry. It is important. Who told you that you don't have tears? How come that you are created without tears? Tears are part of us. And when we shed tears, then we release some of these painful experiences. So hata kama utalia mbele ya watoto na mama, eda kwa bafu, ulilia kwa bafu as you bathe. Sababu hawatajua kama ni machozi ama ni maji.
Ama ni maji.
Yeah, okay. The other thing, Vivian, I would request men to do is to form therapeutic groups. Yeah, therapeutic groups, yes. Women are good. You know, there is this thing people talk about, Mushene. To some extent, I always feel like it. Kamushene kidogo is not bad, because as they talk, as they talk, they release. So can men go for those forums where they can sit, share as they eat the goats and whatever. They can share what they are going through. Yeah. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. It is you. Live your life.
I was to ask, but if they form those two groups, see wataambiwa kona umama.
Yeah, that's now the problem, where you tend to think of what people are saying.
Are going to say.
But why don't you look at the benefits? Is it beneficial? And when people tell you mtakuwa wa mama, do you become? I always tell my clients, watu wakikuita ng'ombe, do you eat grass? No. So the perception that groups, actually men are forming groups za kutoa pesa, kununua mashamba. So they are forming those, they have those groups. So my concern today is that even in those groups, can you just try to share some of the challenges that you are going through, because it's not like during your grandfather's days, and who told you they were not sharing? They would sit and share.
Yeah, in the barazas.
Yes, even when they were taking pombe, they would just talk about vile nilichapa bibi yangu, all this. And when you express it, like the Gen Zs are saying, iseme ikutoke.
Yes,
so let them emulate that. Iseme, yeah, don't mind about what people will say. People will always talk. Even when you get out of your mind because of the mental illness, when you are down in the family. And at this point, Vivian, I want to say that when some of these things are not addressed at an early stage, they can resort into issues of health. The physical health, sicknesses, we call them psychosomatic diseases.
Such diseases are
like diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney problems, heart failure, clots. All these are psychosomatic diseases, and the root cause could be mental illnesses, issues of anxiety, issues of depression, issues of stress that you are not, and PTSD, you are not able to handle. So they can manifest in the physical. Yeah, so it is as serious as that.
Well, okay. Have you heard it's serious?
Yes.
If you don't go seek for help, it's serious. It can manifest in your physical health.
Yes.
Well, you have said one strategy is to go and for therapy, to a counselor, and another one is to talk it out. Are there other strategies? Maybe I don't have money for counseling, I don't have money for therapy. Sometimes it can be expensive for other people. What other strategies can I employ to make sure that I'm mentally stable, that my mental health is okay?
Yeah, it can start from the family setup. And here we need also to empower the families. Because in the family, you can have family meetings. If you are a man, why don't you organize for family meetings? Not just for eating and making merry, whereby everyone can be able to talk about how do I feel in this family. The other day I had a client, a girl, and whatever she told me, I felt like she had a lot of fear of the father, and she has never talked about it. So I was telling her, do you usually have family meetings whereby now you can talk about it, bring it out? Yes, what is our greatest fear in this family? Maybe your daughter will tell you, I fear you because of ABCD. The father will talk about, this is my fear, this is my disappointment. As you talk that in the family and you encourage this aspect of communication skills and communicating in the family, it's at that lower level. You don't pay anything. You don't pay anything. Just encouraging the family talks, family communication, family dialogue. This is something that can help people because you are there and you never talk. Mami ataongea na watoto, imtoke. What about you? So that is another strategy where you can have family meetings where you can talk, you can listen to them. Maybe even the fears you are going through that you are not a good husband, a good father. You can get it from there as they compliment you. And then you feel like it's no longer an issue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and the other thing is that in Kenya today we have organizations that are helping people. They give people support. So you look for them, and maybe they are not costly. But the aspect of counseling, and Vivian, I want to correct this. People may think that counseling services are expensive. It's just like people talk about if you don't try education, then you know that ignorance is more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
See, there is that statement.
Yeah.
If you think that education is expensive,
ignorance is
more expensive than.
Well,
So
hope you have had that.
yeah. So we are saying sometimes let's look at this man who is in acute stress. Then it results into the physical illness, whereby you develop diabetes.
Yeah, it will cost you more to
Than
treat the diabetes.
Exactly. It will cost you more to treat kidney problem, high blood pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe if you go for counseling, you only need 3-4 sessions.
And you'll be okay.
And you are okay. And you are okay. I don't know where this concept of counseling is expensive. To me, it's not. Remember that when you go for drugs, you are also affecting your body. In counseling, you don't need to take drugs. No, there are no side effects. There are no side effects.
Well, that's so insightful.
Yeah.
Hope you have had. Hope you are taking notes. Now there is this person who doesn't want to go for help, doesn't want to get help. How do the community, like the family, the friends, how do they help such a person?
That's a good question, Vivian. I would urge the families to be like the Bible talks of, be your brother's keeper. Let everybody in the family be a keeper to each other. Let's get concerned so that at one point, if you realize that there are some behaviors, there are some symptoms that maybe are creeping in one of the members of the family, it is always good to help this person, to look for help. Yeah. Because sometimes when they are in that state, they are desperate. They may not even be able to make the right decisions. So the members of the family, when you are together, definitely you'll know that there is change in behavior, there is change in the way the person is handling issues, there is change in the way one is hostile, anger and hostility, brutality. So you help this person to seek for help. If not that, we don't just live in a nuclear family. Maybe it is me who is the wife of a husband who is getting into depression, and the symptoms are there: brutality, withdrawal, lack of interest in even his work. If I try to help my husband, and maybe he's reluctant because he's used to me, maybe I can even look for another family member who is closer, so that they can intervene, help this person to seek for help. Because sometimes I wonder, if you have a toothache, it's naumwa, do you need somebody to come and maybe help the person ndio aende hospitali? Definitely utamwambia unaumwa, you just go to the dentist. And why not the mental illness? Why are people reluctant in getting the right help? Why must you be forced to, and you are aware that I'm not well? Na imeonyesha it's not well. Like when you get to a point you don't go to work because you are down with the depression, then it is a concern. Yeah. So the family can help. Friends can help. You can go to friends, the closer friend, maybe seek help. Mwambie nina mtu wangu lakini nimemwambia aende hospitali, why don't you help? We have the religious leaders. Yeah. So in the society we are connected. We are connected. Yeah. So they can be helped. Wow. They can be helped.
I was thinking when you were talking, what if I have no connection, or rather, what if I don't get the help that I need, and it goes to extreme, like the depression? What if I don't go for that help?
You know what happens? We are talking of men. When men get to a point of no return, you realize that they look for the alternatives. Yeah. They don't get the help, so they go for alternative. What is the alternative? Between alcoholism and substance use.
Yes.
Yeah. There are always options, and these are wrong options. Yeah. So if there is no help, nobody is ready, we can see the results of the same. Men are engaging themselves in alcoholism and substance use, which is more disastrous than seeking help. Vivian, at this point, there is no man who is an island. Yes. At least you have connection somewhere. Yeah. The only thing is that people don't want to take responsibility. People don't want to take responsibility, and they are the beneficiary actually.
Yeah,
they are the ones who benefit. Yeah. So resistance is of no help. When you realize, and maybe with the mental illnesses, sometimes people may not know that they are in it until they are maybe told. Kuna wengine who have the connection with the self, but maybe if they are in that deep, maybe they have gotten into the deep part of depression and whatever, sometimes they disconnect with the self, so they can be helped. And I'm a believer that hakuna mtu hawezi kuona akusaidia. Yeah. But when they are not helped, the option is there. Ready market, substances and alcohol, which again will be very expensive, because what is the end result? Rehab. Rehabs are not cheap. Yeah, the cycle continues. And it's like Waswahili walisema usipoziba ufa utajenga ukuta. Yeah. Let's seek for help at lower levels. At this point, I want to warn the family members and those who are our viewers. In my counseling experience, I've realized that when people realize these symptoms of mental illness, wanakibia sana kwa psychiatrist. I have no problem with psychiatrists, but start at lower level. Start with the counseling, because the counselor can assess how acute the situation is, so that they can refer you to a psychiatrist.
Wait, there's a difference between a counselor and a psychiatrist?
Yes.
What's the difference?
The difference is that psychiatrists are medics.
Okay.
Yeah, they are medics. They give them medication. Yeah, which has also side effects. Yeah. So I'm creating this awareness to because of the time I've been in counseling, and I've realized watu wananiita kuja utusaidie, nikienda ananiambia but kwanza tulimpelekea psychiatrist. I have always told people, let's start early, as long as the person is connecting. Let us start at a lower level. The counselor or psychologist will be able to assess whether the case or the issue should be referred to a psychiatrist.
At what point ndio naweza sema nitampeleka kwa psychiatrist?
Number one is when the client is not connecting. Like haongei, maybe unamuuliza jina, at that point, counseling cannot work.
Okay.
Or there is no coherence. Unamuuliza, the person, you cannot get the information because you see counseling is about dialogue. Yeah, so, and exploration. So at that point, you can refer the person. But if the person is able to talk,
okay.
The person is coherent, the person is able to maybe to get a few things about whatever you are talking. Let's start from the lower level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I see that our time is so much gone.
Okay.
Well, I've learned a thing or two. I've learned that counseling might be expensive, but ignorance is more expensive.
True.
Please take care of yourself. Men who are watching, your family members who are watching, maybe we need to help our brothers, we need to help our husbands, we need to help our kids. And hope you have learned something from today's episode.
Yeah.
I want you to say where you can be found. Where can people find you?
Thank you, our viewers. Thank you, Tumaini TV. I want to believe that we've touched a man or two, and it is the high time that you move from where you are now, take responsibility, take action. We are there, Merimbogwa is there. I have an organization called Miale ya Tumaini. I have an office around area ya Sanifa. I have an office there. That's where I operate. And because you'd just wish to see me, my number is 0721 592393. 0721 592393. Thank you so much. God bless you as you move on. Men, try to do something during this month and it will make a difference. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for agreeing for the invitation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving us your insights. May God bless you.
Thank you.
And to you, our viewers, I have something for you that is a Bible verse, of course, from the book of Isaiah 26 verse 3. Isaiah 26 verse 3, it says, you will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. The word of God tells us to put our mind on Christ. He's the author and the perfecter of our faith. He's our creator. He knows us more than we know ourselves. So put your mind on Christ and everything will be okay. That's all from me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time, and please remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. That is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tumaini TV KE. And on our website, for those who are viewing us from outside Kenya, that is tumainitv.co.ke. Till next time, see you. Bye-bye.